Hello, my name's Pastor J and welcome to my video tutorial on how to get Lord of the Rings Online running and installed on Linux. This is a bit of a follow-up to a guide posted by Web Giant on the forums, who did this excellent guide called LotRO on Linux, a modern guide. And like the title suggests, it's a great modern guide on how to run and install Lord of the Rings via a compatibility tool called Wine on Linux. It's really well thought out. It's well put together. There's some great instructions, really takes you step by step. I'm going to leave the link to this in the video description because this has really inspired my own guide and my own take on this. It was super helpful to me as I was getting started, but since then I've encountered a few issues and had a few extra thoughts, and I wanted to put this video together because I think there's potentially a better, maybe a little simpler method of getting LotRO going on this. And this guide, if you follow it word for word, there are a couple of issues with it. The first issue is you have to have a workaround to get the LotRO store running. You have to use the Osmium client or the legacy client in the launcher in order to open the LotRO store in an external web browser. I found that even that is a bit hit and miss. Sometimes it opens, sometimes it doesn't. And the second thing is, by following this guide, you are limited to DirectX 9. And the direct implementation of DirectX 9 in base Wine. I find that actually, by using something called DXVK, we can get DirectX 11 working very easily, very well, and have the game performing at a higher level of graphics and a higher level of performance by using the method that I'm going to show you. I'm showing you this on Manjaro Linux. This guide will work on pretty much whatever distribution of Linux that you run. I like Manjaro, and the simple reasons I like Manjaro are, firstly, they come with up-to-date graphics drivers. You don't usually need to go hunting around to install the latest graphic drivers. Things like Ubuntu and other distributions based on Ubuntu often come with slightly out-of-date drivers. Manjaro doesn't. It's got the latest stuff. Secondly, it's based on Arch Linux. If you don't know much about Arch Linux, then maybe just give Manjaro a go. Introduce yourself to the Arch user repository. I really like Arch. I find it super customizable. It also comes with things like a really recent up-to-date version of Wine built in. It comes with a very quick and easy way to install Winetricks and this software Lutris, which is what we're going to install Lord of the Rings Online through today. So I think this is a really, really great distribution, especially for gamers. There's lots of special different kinds of it. You can use whatever desktop environment you want to use. There's loads stuff like built by the Manjaro guys, but also by members of the community. Super customizable. Check it out. Now I'll stop shilling for them and let's get on with the guide. Okay, so first of all, what you're going to need to make sure that you've got installed are three things. You're going to need to make sure you've got Wine installed. Like I said, Manjaro comes with Wine built in. You're going to want to make sure that you've got Winetricks installed, and you're going to want to make sure that you've got Lutris installed. Now, on Manjaro, they use a package manager called Octopi. This is Octopi. And so Wine, coming in installed baseline is just normal Wine. I've been doing some tweaking. I've been using Wine staging instead, but normal Wine is fine. Just make sure you've got that installed, and it's just a literal right-click thing here. Winetricks is there. You want to right-click that, make sure you've got that installed. And then you also want this software called Lutris. Lutris. You just need to go to your package manager. I believe this is also on the Ubuntu the Ubuntu Software Center, and therefore it's on like Kubuntu. I believe it's on Linux Mint's distribution. I believe it's on Pop OS, the Pop Shop on Pop OS, all of those sorts of places. Just go to Google Lutris if you're struggling to find it and find out how to download it. Lutris will be in Google. So yeah, give it a look, get this installed. You should be able to find it in your software center. Once you install it, go to Lutris, open it up, and here we are. So what you want to do is you then want to click this little plus arrow up here. This is an add game. So we need to add the game here, and then we need to type it in. So you can type Lord of the Rings Online in. I'm just going to put LotRO because I already have one installed just to differentiate it. Then runner. What you want to do is you want to select a runner from the list, and you want Wine, runs Windows games. That's what you want. Then you want to click this little button called Install Runners. And then you want to scroll down, and you want to go down to Wine here, and you want to click this little button, Manage Versions. Because there's a specific version of Wine that we want to use to run the Lord of the Rings Online. You want to make sure that you've got TKG-4.6. You want to make sure this is checked and installed. You'll check it, click OK, it should be installed. And then you continue filling out the details, come out of that, continue filling out the details. 2007. Then you want an executable. What we want to do here now is go to lotro.com. You want to go download, and you want to go to PC download, and you want to just download the file. Save that way you'd normally save it. Mine's just in my downloads folder. We can quit this because I've already got it downloaded. Then go back to Lutris. Browse for the executable. Mine's in my downloads folder. lotrolive.exe. There you go. Have that there. Then you want your working directory. What I've got in my home folder is I've got this little folder called Games. And I put stuff here. So I've got Diablo 3 installed, I've got Overwatch installed, I've got Path of Exile installed. These all run great, by the way, through Proton and through various different things. So Lutris is an amazing tool, so give it a look. What I want to do is I want to click Add Folder. I'm going to call it LotRO. Here we go. Click OK at the bottom. And then what you want to do is you also want to put in the same thing as your WINEPREFIX. There we go. Prefix architecture you can leave to auto. That's not a problem. Here, go to runner options, and then you want to make sure that you've got that version that we installed selected. So you want to go to TKG-4.6 x86 64. Beautiful. There you go. Then we need to enable a few things. So we want to enable DXVK. This is what translates DirectX 11 to Vulkan. It's brilliant. It runs really well. And then I find that the game just runs a bit better with eSync on. So just flick that on as well. You can leave pretty much everything else the same. Again, system options, leave it the same. I got to show you what this is about in a bit. This is called game mode. This can just help your system run the game a bit faster. But this isn't necessary. You don't need to do this to get the game running really well. So click save. And then what you want to do is you just want to click play. It's going to create the WINEPREFIX for you, configure it, and then when you launch it, you should have the installer load. Oh, there you go. English, or whatever language you prefer. Express installs fine. Click accept. It'll install. Brilliant. You want to uncheck this box though before you click finish. Uncheck this box. We're going to have to change a setting over here before we launch the client. So finish that. Then go back to your config, which is just under the play button here. Go back to your config. Then you want to change the executable under game options. You want to click browse, and you want to go to wherever you've put the LotRO. You want to go games, LotRO, drive C, program files, Standing Stone Games, Lord of the Rings Online, and here you should find lotrolauncher.exe, and that's what you want to set your executable as. You click save, then click play. You do want to install high resolution data if you want to use it, of course, but like, come on, it's 2019. You want to use the high res. This is just going to download the game. So at this point, go, I don't know, go watch a movie, go do whatever you want to do, and wait for the game to download. I'll be back. Once you reach this point, once you've reached the point where the game's downloaded, it's installed, you've got your username and password box on the launcher, if you want to, you can stop now. This is as far as the previous guide would take you, running the basics of the game on Wine. So if you want to, you can put in your username and password. I'm just going to show you. You can log in. On the first time, you'll have a DirectX 11 little box that comes up. You want to click no on that because DirectX 11 won't work yet. And then you'll need to go through your terms and conditions as normal, like you would on Windows. But the game just works. Like, I can set this on ultra high. Let me log in. It just works like this. There we go. This is LotRO. It takes a little bit for things to pop in. But, yeah, this is on DX9. Maxed out. And this is the game just working. You got your shadows. You can get anti-aliasing working if you want. Let's get some anti-aliasing on there. And you get an okay frame rate. It's not the best. It's not as good as we will be able to get it in a bit. But the game does work. If you want to stop here, that's fine. You can stop here. But I think there's a bit better that we can go for. The store, at this point, doesn't work. It gives you a white screen. You have to go into using the Ausomian client like this guide will say, but we can do better than that. So what I'm now going to show you is I'm going to show you the tweaks that you need to make in order to get DirectX 11 working with LotRO on Linux. Firstly, what you want to do is you want to install the little Winetricks that are required to get it working on Linux. So you want to open a terminal, and then, oh, it's on my second screen here, and then you want to use this command that I will have in both the guide on the forums and in the video description. So you want to paste this. So you've got your wine prefix. You'll need to change your prefix to wherever you've put it, like you did in Lutris. That's your prefix. That needs to be the same in the command that you're going to put in. See how they're the same? Wine prefix. Yeah. A space, Winetricks, space, and then these are the tricks you need. You need your D3D compiler _43, your D3DX11 _42, D3DX11 _43. Your those are all for your DirectX 11. You've got your winhttp. That's going to make the store work for you. And then you've got your corefonts, which just helps the look of the store. It helps the look of the launcher. So that's what you want to do. You just want to run that. It'll come up. Your wine will configure. And your Winetricks will load. There it is. It's installing all the stuff. It'll take a little while. You've got to install a whole bunch of fonts as part of that instruction set. So I'll come back when this is finished. Fantastic. So once you've got your login back in your terminal and it's completed the process, we need to install one more custom wine trick to get LotRO working in DX11. This was provided by this fantastic Reddit post by tolinbran on the Steam Play subreddit. This just gets it working. It's brilliant. I'm going to have the link to this Reddit post in the guide and the forum, the video description as well. What you need to do is you need to copy this script. Just copy it. And then you want to go into, say, your documents folder. This is from where I was making it earlier just to test. I'm going to delete that for now. You want to create a new text file and you want to call it D3D compiler _42 .verb. D3D compiler _42 .verb. You create that as a blank text file. You want to open that up and you want to paste the script in there. Yeah, file, save it up. That's all good, right? Then here's what you want to do. You want to go back to your terminal. You want to change your directory to wherever you've created this. That I put it in my documents. You could have put it in your downloads. But then you want to go cd space and then documents. That's put it in my documents in my home folder. So that's where we're now looking at in the terminal. Then what we want to do is we want to select our wine prefix, which is wine prefix equals games LotRO. And then we want to go Winetricks. We want to use Winetricks. And then we want to put in this file name, D3D compiler _42 .verb. Get that installed. It'll run through the process. Now it's installed. Right? Easy, simple, job's a good one. Come out of that. Now, everything should work in LotRO just out the box. We're going to hit play. Let the launcher just do its thing. Gonna log in. Get to the login screen. Now what we can do is we can select the options here. We can select DirectX 11. Then we need to just restart the game. Log in again. Let it load. There we go. That's now running in DirectX 11. There you go, DirectX 11. Got full anti-aliasing. Can make sure it's on ultra high. Let's enter the game. I'll show you and confirm that it's running in DirectX 11. And because this is not using like Wine's built-in renderer, it's using this DXVK, which we selected in Lutris, it actually runs much faster. Like the frame rate's really good here. Once it loads. See, look at my frame rate now. Look at it. It's wonderful. And this is DX11. Like, look at the shadows and the way they fall on his cloak. Like, those are DirectX 11 shadows. This is the game in DX11. And it runs great. For me, I get a few interesting sound issues. I find they're eliminated by putting sound on generic software, and they go away. Sounds great still. And, you know, the client's the client, so until we get 64-bit, it's not going to run brilliantly, and even then, the 64-bit client isn't going to solve every problem in the world. It's an old game, but the game runs really well on Linux. I get better performance from this than I do from running the game natively on Windows. It's seriously impressive. So, yeah, guys, give it a try. This is DX11 LotRO on Lutris. Just click play from this point on. You just open Lutris, click play. It works. It's really good. All the plugins work. Let me just quickly show you where you'd need to install your plugins. So what you'd need to do is you need to go to your home folder. You need to go to games. You need to go to LotRO, drive C, and just like this is where you'd need to install users, whatever your username is, and then it's like just your user folder on Windows. So in My Documents, that's where that folder is, and you put your plugin data in there. And once your plugin data's in there, that's it. This is where all your preferences are. So really easy to get plugins just installed. The game works really well. So while I was editing, I realized that I didn't show footage of the store working. So I just want to do that now, just quickly. I'm going to speed up the video just a little bit from this point on, just to get us in. But yeah, the store does work. Here you go. Here's the store. It just works. Just works. You could buy whatever. This is in the game. Just works. This is way better, in my opinion, than trying to open up the game in open up the store, sorry, in a browser. So yeah, it works. Okay, so just to finish off, what I want to do is I want to show you just one little tweak that I was put onto recently that I really like. I think it's really good. And that's something called game mode. Now, game mode is like it's a little utility that if you sort of run game mode through Lutris, it just brings some little optimizations in that help boost the performance of some games pretty significantly in Linux. So you can install game mode by going back to your package manager in Manjaro. That's Octopi again. And you just game mode. All one word, game mode. Install game mode. Just install it. And then the way you'd get that done after that's installed, I have it set for all games in this. So I have it set in all games. If you don't want to do that, you can add it specifically for a game. This is how you set it for all games. You go to, Lutris, Preferences, System Options, scroll down, and then in Environment Variables, you want to type in LD preload like this, and then user lib game mode auto.so. That's what you want to do. Easy peasy. So add that in, and then that will just occur for all games. If you want to do it specific games, you select the game, go to the config, and you can add it in the same way in the system options for the one game. That just gives a bit of an FPS boost. Guys, it just works. It works really well. It works on DX11. It works with a really good frame rate. The store works. You can just click and you can just open the store. It's really good implementation. So, yeah, feel free. Spread the word. If you've never tried Linux, try Linux. Ditch Windows. Windows is constantly tracking you. It's constantly updating and being buggy, and it's a bloated mess at this point, in my humble opinion. Use a really great operating system, so you don't have to defrag, you don't have to worry about so many different things with Linux. LotRO runs just like a dream. So thanks for paying attention. Let me know if you've got any comments, any thoughts, but yeah.